Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Today we got big news from Ripple that they are officially testing RLUSD. That's the Ripple USD stablecoin. They're testing it on the XRP ledger, and it's going to be to start on two different chains. It'd be XRP ledger as well as Ethereum. Now this is a big deal. This is absolutely fantastic. For XRP. XRP is required for this thing to exist and to transact. So it literally this increases utility by definition for XRP because of the way that the XRP ledger itself is coded. On top of that, for those that were fearful that XRP was no longer going to need to be used or be used by Ripple for pretty much anything, including cross-border payments, I always said that was completely ridiculous and silly. Why would Ripple do anything that would actually harm the asset, which they hold the most of out of any individual holder? Ripple's got the biggest stake in this in terms of quantity. Why would they do that? Doesn't make sense even if you just look at it like that. But there's also going to continue to be use for a cryptocurrency which is decentralized versus a stablecoin, which, while useful, it is centralized, so it depends on the particular use case. But here they put the issue to bed, and I'll show you, but they cited specifically XRP is going to continue to be used in cross-border payments, period. And today we also got additional word that, so again, that news broke yesterday, and a lot of you I'm sure have heard by now. Today we got additional information from David Schwartz, who of course is Ripple's CTO as well as one of the three creators of XRP and the XRP ledger, and he was talking about a specific feature which will differentiate compared to other cryptocurrencies. But with Ripple jumping in when they are, like, talk about jumping in. I mean, this is the right time to do this. The market for stablecoins, not that big compared to where it's forecasted to be. This is something that is going to, again, further cement XRP in terms of long-term viability. This is the type of thing you should be excited for. If you want XRP to be here 10, 20, 30 years from now and beyond, yes, this is the type of stuff you want, and you better hope that Ripple's successful, because it'll just be one more thing that we can look to. And I suspect that there's a really good chance that they are. They are a juggernaut here, and they can do things that some of their competitors cannot. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And so here we go. This is the official post from Ripple on their website. Ripple is excited to announce we have begun beta testing Ripple USD, which is RLUSD, that's the ticker symbol, on the XRP ledger and Ethereum mainnet. This is a significant milestone and a step closer to bringing more high-quality assets to the XRP ledger, driving new opportunities, liquidity, and institutional use cases for users, developers, and applications. The mainnet version of Ripple USD is also available on Ethereum, with plans to expand to additional blockchains and decentralized finance protocols over time. Ripple USD is currently in its beta phase and is being rigorously tested, and they go on to explain for security, efficiency, so on and so forth. They warn to watch for scams because this thing, to be clear, is not available. If you see anybody offering this or a place that you can buy it, no, you can't. That would be a scam. Don't fall for it, please. They also showed on where you can find it on the XRP ledger. Here I just looked it up on BitHomp. I use BitHomp all the time. And so it looks like, I guess they created 1 billion of them. I don't think it said that in the article unless I read it too fast. But there it is, 1 billion RLUSD. They're testing that, so that'd be just to start. And then more can always be minted, of course. And anyway, then they continue further. There is a clear demand for stablecoins that deliver trust, stability and utility once RLUSD is available. And check out this. If you were worried about XRP, don't be. This is a good thing. Ripple will use both RLUSD and XRP in its cross-border payment solution to serve its global customers and dramatically improve their experience. With over a decade of building enterprise financial solutions, Ripple is in an ideal position to launch a stablecoin that addresses a market projected to grow to over $2.8 trillion by 2028. Yeah, so they're jumping in at a time where it's in its infancy. It effectively is, right? I mean, yes, it's bigger than it was, half a decade ago, but it can compare to where it's going to be, another 5-10 years out. So this is why, if Ripple's going to do this, this is the time to do it. Anytime up to this point, ideal. They can still come in and compete and become one of the most adopted stablecoins in history. If for a new competitor to jump in like 20 years from now, good luck. That sounds like that's something that would be very difficult. That would be in mature asset class, barrier to entry higher. Not so now. And especially given that Ripple has a veritable war chest in terms of money, yeah, they're sitting pretty. This is something that is absolutely fantastic specifically for XRP because, again, XRP is required. That's how the ledger works. It's coded as such. So you'll love to see. And then as far as XRP being used in cross-border payment solutions, yeah, duh. We found out several months ago that as a result of what happened in the SEC v. Ripple lawsuit, for corridors touching the United States, XRP was not being used. Tether was being used. And so, not surprisingly here, now they're launching a stablecoin and they're going to replace the Tether with RLUSD, which requires still the usage of XRP quite literally. So, it's fine. So now they didn't come out right out and say that this is going to replace Tether. So I'm speculating there, but I think it's reasonable to suppose that's what's going to happen. And they're going through all the regulatory rigmarole, so on and so forth. So I think it's fair to surmise that's likely going to be the case here. And so I came across this thread from David Schwartz, thanks to my fellow XRP YouTuber, Crypto Eddie. And she wrote, "This functionality feature is a supreme differentiator among stablecoins, I must admit." So that caught my attention. I was like, what are they talking about? What's a differentiator here? And so there was this thread. This is started by Vet. He's an XRP Ledger DUNL validator. And he said, if Clawback is intended for RLUSD beyond testing, it becomes dependent on XLS73 to allow XRP Ledger automated market maker usage. In Circle's USDC contract on ETH, block listing account seems to be important. XRP Ledger's authorized trust lines work opposite and are not suitable. So I don't want to get into AMM stuff in this video. I'm just showing you where the conversation started from. And like I said at the outset of the video, of course, this is a stable coin. It is centralized. That is fine. There are use cases where that makes perfect sense. That is perfectly fine and reasonable. Not bad, but as a result, you can have certain features that wouldn't be desirable for a decentralized cryptocurrency. Like, for instance, if you could freeze XRP, that would be bad. You can't do that. You know, if somebody could claw back XRP ledger transactions, that would be bad. We wouldn't like that. Now, exchanges can pull back transactions that are on their centralized databases that are representations of XRP, but that's not the XRP ledger itself. Exchanges can't do that, just to be super clear. And so somebody here asked a question, why is clawback needed on a stablecoin? And Vet responded, it isn't needed on a stablecoin. And so he's like, so why are we doing this then? And he says, so Vet says, it can still be put in. None of the things Circle and Tether added, like block listing accounts, is needed for a stablecoin too, but they added it. And Cookie Crypto says, it screams in the face of what crypto should be. Clawback exerts control over an asset, and beyond specific use cases, issuance by insurance industry, etc., it should only be implemented if necessary to the function of the token. For stablecoins, there are no realistic use case beyond control. And so that's fine. See, the tone from him is that he thinks that that's bad and it shouldn't exist, and I would disagree with that if that's his position. If you say it screams in the face of what crypto should be, well, only if you consider decentralized coins to be cryptocurrency. Because I don't think that you want this type of functionality for a decentralized cryptocurrency. I'd agree with that. But are we considering, what's the definition? What's the litmus test for what a crypto is? Is a stablecoin a cryptocurrency? Because then it doesn't fly in the face of what crypto should be. Because you should have cryptocurrencies that are decentralized and some that aren't for different use cases, including for regulatory purposes. Right? There's nothing wrong with finding utility in a cryptocurrency, a stablecoin, that's regulated to bring in traditional finance. That's a positive. That's evolution. And so David Schwartz jumped in here and he said a stablecoin held by a regulated legal entity is supposed to represent a legal obligation. If something outside the ledger eliminates the legal obligation, but the tokens are still there on the ledger's just wrong. There needs to be a way to fix it. Now, Vet responded and said, can one just not count tokens and frozen trust lines to the overall checks and balances? Looking at Circle, they work with block listing accounts, which is similar. David responded and said, the problem with that is that frozen trust lines may reflect legal obligations. Say there's a dispute between Alice and Bill, and the issuer doesn't know who the tokens rightfully belong to. So they freeze the trust line. At this point, they don't know who they owe the dollars, those dollars tokens represent. But they owe them to someone, so a frozen trust line can't mean no legal obligation. Oh, let me pause here to also mention that every single one of these coins, these RLUSD coins, they're going to be backed either by the dollar or I think they said short-term treasuries, T-bills. So it's going to be backed. So there's real-world money, and then there's the RLUSD, which is a representation of that real-world value. And so what he's saying here in this hypothetical is that's owed to somebody. So what do you do in a situation if you're not sure what to do? That's exactly what he's saying here. Because he says, again, owe them to someone. So a frozen trust line can't mean no legal obligation. Yeah, right. It's got to go to someone. Then he says, then say it's Alice's account, but Bob gets a court order to have the issuer pay him. Once the issuer does, the tokens no longer represent a legal obligation. But what can the issuer do? Nothing. So with freeze but no clawback, all or some of the tokens on a frozen trust line may or may not represent legal obligations of the issuer. But we want the ledger to accurately reflect the issuer's obligations, so they can't tell the difference between different stories to different people. So, you know, there can be all sorts of different situations where various features can be useful. Don't think it in terms of decentralized cryptocurrencies like XRP. If you care about something that's decentralized, then XRP is a great coin to consider, right? But if you just want to have something that's backed and it's reputable for the short term, and you know, if RLUSD ends up on all the major exchanges out there, there are all sorts of people that will want to hold it for short term. And I don't think many are going to want to hold for long term. That doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense. But to hold for short term, yeah, I can certainly imagine that that makes sense. So that there is utility there. And with a trusted name like Ripple, I mean, there's obviously a lot of benefits there. And it's going to be provably backed. It's not going to be like one of these Tether situations where like, okay, they say it's backed, but no third-party audit can't prove it. I'm like, okay. Well, that's a negative there. Not the case here. Ripple has made it clear that they're going to be transparent, and if they're not, then I will be upset and talk about it on the channel. But my understanding from every single thing I've seen from them is that, yeah, it's going to be provably the case. It's 100% backed. So I'm trusting that they'll follow through with that. If not, we'll talk about it as a community, but I think we're probably going to be fine there. So this is all fantastic stuff, exciting, happy to see it, and it is absolutely great for XRP. XRP utility is just increasing here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.